Hello, and thanks for joining us on VIP TV today. Really top guest, a promoter who will try anything. And something I said to him the other week, most things he does have a great chance of succeeding because he only surrounds himself with grafters. Anyway, it's Dennis Hobson joining us, and thanks for joining us, Dennis.
Steve, always a pleasure with you, pal.
Good man. Tell you what I want to talk about. You're obviously the Fightzone concept you're heavily involved in. You're a few shows in. I went the other night. It's different, isn't it? It's almost like being in, because the sun was out the other night. It was about 75 degrees, even at 8, 9 o'clock at night. It's like being in a beer garden with guys entertaining you in a ring, isn't it?
You know what? My RPA, I call her Miss Moneypenny, Steve, don't I, Michelle? And she took a photograph just at the right time of the evening, and you looked at the setup, and you could have been in California. It was fantastic. The first show that we did, we just about got away with it because it was like as though winter was still here. But the transformation when we get a bit of sunshine in this weather. I mean, I've moved just outside Sheffield to Matlock, Steve, and when the sun shines in this country, it's as good as anywhere. It's as good as anywhere. Some beautiful parts. And so, I mean, we went from having like a winter's day when we were worried that the fights might get called off because the wind were blowing and the rain were coming down in the first fight, and the odd kid slipped in the ring. And then the week after, and for the last 3 weeks, it's been amazing. And it just transforms the makeshift arena that we've created in what was a dirty old car park. It were an overspill car park for the Sheffield Arena, and it hasn't been used really for a long time. And they're as good as gold with us down at the arena. Dom Stokes, who's the main guy down there, and he let us have it to create this arena. And as you can see, Steve, it's like a bit of a special place. So we have created the Fightzone Arena, and a lot of kids are getting themselves out. Everybody's buying into it. The managers, promoters. Steve Woods were on there doing a bit of punditing the other day. I watched him, and he looked to be enjoying himself. And I think that's what we're trying to create, where we involve in everybody and anybody who wants to get involved up and down the country. We've got to Scotland soon with Sam Kinnock. So it's a great concept. It's something that's been needed, I think, in boxing since I started. And you've been around the game for a long, long time, Steve. And I'm sure. I mean, what do you think to the concept?
Well, I thought it was brilliant. And what the next thing I was going to come to was what that beer garden feel is. If I had, everything's at their table. There's 1,000,001 waiters, waitresses about, waiters ordering drinks. You haven't got to wait. You go to an arena, Sheffield Arena, Manchester Arena. You're 10 deep at the bar to get a drink. Here, yeah. There's more there's more Fightzone T-shirts than anything, and it's waitresses and waiters that are wearing them. No, I've always brilliant. You've got those tables right at the front where you're right on top of the ring, and even if you're just behind the ring, you're still on top of the ring almost. That was my feeling as a boxing fan there.
Yeah, and I think it's the goodwill that we're trying to create, and it was great to see so many people enjoying themselves. And by the way, where's your Fightzone T-shirt?
I haven't got one. Phil never gave me one.
What size are you? Because you've gone down in sizes that many times. You'll be a small boy soon, you.
I'm a medium. I'll speak to Phil. He can get one over to me.
Well, you should have been one of the first on the list, Mr. Lillis.
But no, it just seemed, what it seemed to me is the boxers have brought in by selling tickets. Obviously, as always, there's decent incentives for boxers to sell tickets. The fans have bought in, and I think just looking the other night, has every show been sold out as far as you can sell, basically, so far?
Yeah, because we're limited for numbers to a degree. And that's why the price dictates that. But nobody's really balked at the prices of the tickets because we're having to price the tickets accordingly to make it work. But we're putting some decent bit of food on, and if people are hungry, we're trying to treat a VIP as a VIP we've even got red tablecloths. So have you seen the colour theme? Did you notice the colour?
Yeah, that's the red tablecloths, yeah.
Black, and then we've got the red, which is the E on the Fightzone and stuff like that. So And you can see the big structure that we've created. I mean, it's like stands out. It's like a landmark in Sheffield at the moment. So it's you know, and the production, Steve, as you can see, it's top notch.
Yeah, I mean that's an expensive. You know, do people take into account, you know, subscribers and fans, how expensive that production is?
Yeah, that same production is what you see on Channel 5, Sky, BT, whatever. It's top, and the people who are behind it, Televideo, they're the Sheffield base, and obviously they're very, very close to me. They go that extra mile for us, and as you can see, the end product is absolutely sparkling. What we've created, Steve, is television on the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's like a Netflix, and it's our version, if you like, of DAZN, I suppose. But the thing is that we're local, and I'm saying that we're local is because if I go over to your place in Manchester and we do stuff with Steve Woods, it's his show, and yeah, he might want to do something in association with us, but it's a Steve Woods show, like a Sam Kinnock and Carl Greaves and Mo Pryor with Alfie Warren. You know, we're moving about, Errol Johnson, and you know, we're moving about, and we're including their kids. And yeah, we've signed 1 or 2 kids up and down the country to Fight Academy, but that's like a separate deal. I have to wear 2 hats, Steve, where I'm involved with Fightzone, but I'm involved with Fight Academy. Now, Fight Academy gets dates off Fightzone. Now, it's not all about me like it's all about Frank and Eddie. It's about all the other promoters and us all pulling together to make this work, and everybody getting all their kids to subscribe. Then all their kids, if they want to turn them pro, they've got a platform here, a TV platform for their kids from day 0. They haven't got to get a kid up to 15 and 0 to go and knock on the door at BT or at Sky or wherever, and hope to push the kid's career on. This platform hopefully will produce kids what can go all the way, and hopefully, because we're getting that stronger, much stronger, that we can take the kids all the way to the world scene. And that's what my aim is.
Yeah, and also I think it's important because people just see at the moment, it's been all your shows the first few weeks. I think, I mean, Jason telling me the second batch of shows from September onwards, there's a lot less of your shows, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going on tour. We're doing a show with Steve Vaughan in Malta, July the 30th. We were going to put, and you watched John Fuchs last week. We were going to do a show. We were going to put John on in Las Palmas, but because of the logistics and still the restrictions, we thought without much messing about, we'd already got a show on the Friday anyway, so we didn't need to do a show on the Saturday. So we went, let's just manage. A kid pulled off last Friday where we put John on, and then so we're gonna. But if you look at the cards, Steve, even though they're in Sheffield, there are a lot of kids from all over the country. They're not all Sheffielders and local kids on our shows. There are a lot of other Kev Marie's at the majority of the kids on the majority of these shows. So we are spreading it about. Sam Kinnock were there the other night with one of his kids. So we've got kids, and even though it's based in Sheffield, we've got kids from all over the country on, even though we're on our shows. But the reason why we had to do it in the car park, and we've done it for like 6-7 weeks, is because we haven't known what the restrictions are going to be, and other promoters have been a bit hesitant and rightly so in when they can put a show on inside an arena. So we've been waiting for that. So what we decided to do, we'll launch the channel, but book 6 or 7 shows. I think we might have done 8 by the time we've done in Sheffield at that makeshift Fightzone arena. So at least we're getting a lot of kids out there grafting again, progressing the career, and then when the other promoters come on, like Mo and Alfie, they're booking arenas. Carl Greaves is, Steve Woods is coming on to us with 2 or 3 dates. Sam Kinnock, I'm hoping that Ian Wilson up in Scotland is going to do something with us. Yeah. So we're moving it about, and I'm looking forward to these little excursions, Steve, where I can sit back a little bit and I ain't got to carry your booze to your table. I'm like waiting on at the moment. I'm like wearing different hats. So I can sit with you, and you can bore me with some of your lovely stories.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, I think even Phil, your chief operations officer, I think his wife was waiting the tables the other night. So you're all involved, aren't you, all the way through? So, but how has it been with subscribers so far? Have they reacted pretty well as you expected? Could it do better? Is it, how would you judge it at the moment?
We're doing. I mean, as part of my partners, like in Steve Crump and other people, they thought we are where they thought we were. Now,
Right.
I thought we might have done a touch better, but we're all right. We're doing well. The response is very, very, very positive. I just wanted to get up there sooner, but I'm a bit like that. I'm impulsive because I want to put some bigger fights on. But we're doing fine. We're doing fine.
That's good.
Can't complain. The concept's working. We know that, and until we always thought it's going to work, and it is working. But I want it to work that little bit faster. So
that's though, yeah.
That's me. But with the help of people like yourself, Steve, people will buy into it because we've got credibility. And you've been at the show and you've seen we're not just putting walkover fights on. There's some competitive fights. Brett Friday will be.
I saw that. I weren't there, but I watched it. Yeah.
An up and coming kid. So we're not just putting kids on who's just going to win. They're going to win. And it's just a matter of when, because it's just picking the round or whatever. So we don't want to do that. We want to put him in competitive fights. And I think that's what we've done for his first, 4 or 5 fights, 4 or 5 events, what we've put together.
Yeah. Just going forward, when it comes to the winter and it's your turn to put on a show, obviously you're not doing as many of the second batch. How are you going to beat this when you have to go indoors? Are you going to go back to the traditional way of a Dennis Hobson show in the arena or, a medium-sized venue where everyone's, go back to tradition as such?
I think that's what we'll do, Steve, to a degree. But I think because of this fight zone sort of concept is, I think what you'll see because of all the how we put the production together, you'll know you're coming into a fight zone arena.
Right, right.
And so. You've seen the punditry, what we've been getting. We're having different people in.
It's good. It's a good idea. I did a bit the other night. You had 3 or you're rolling people over all the time. Yeah.
And what do you think to that? I think it's so refreshing.
Yeah, with different voices each time. Because don't forget, you're on air, Dennis, for 6-7 hours.
Right.
So if you're seeing the same face for 6-7 hours, I get that.
I think when you tune into Sky, you know that it's going to be Froch. And whether it's Tony Bellew or whether it's whoever, it's the same thing all the time. And I think what we're doing, and people's turning up, like Sonny Edwards turned up there the other day, being a few months ago, he was slagging us off.
He loved it. He loved it. I know. Yeah, I've seen his Twitter. Yeah.
Because he said to Jason, "Do you think Dennis will want me to come on?" Of course he will. I don't take myself serious. You know what I'm like. So
yeah.
He went down. Anyway, he loved it. He wants to come again. And it's a business, isn't it, Steve? Let's be honest. It's a hard game. But if you can make the journey a bit pleasant now and again, like what we're trying to do, and people not taking themselves too serious, it's an entertainment as well as a serious business.
Yeah.
And let's add a bit of tongue-in-cheek entertainment to it and keep rolling different people in there and freshen it up. And people's always got an opinion. That's why there's that many different scorecards. They're looking at the same fight and they vary sometimes so much. So like when you get a pundit in there or a personality on the mic, he sees fights sometimes different to what you or me might do. So it just adds a little bit of interest to it and freshens it up for the viewer, which is something that me and you, I'm sure, would sit back there even if we weren't involved, Steve, would look at it and think, well, this is different. And sometimes there's a little bit of soccer AM in it involved because you're getting different people in who's got a little bit of sense of humour. They're coming from like a basic background, and people will ask you, but you should know who's going to win this fight and how that works because you've been in boxing all that time. No, boxing is about opinion, Steve, isn't it? And it's how you look at a fight and how you interpret what work somebody's doing or whatever. And everybody's opinion counts because if you pay your money and you go and watch your Fulham, you're entitled to have a pop at them while you're on the terrace. And it's same with my poor old club, Sheffield Wednesday. It's what we're born into. It's in his blood now. Well, we're entitled to our opinion, whether it's right or it's professional or not. We've paid his money, so we're entitled to his opinion. And that's how I believe these boxing shows are prevailing.
Yeah, you need to get Sonny in as a pundit. He's always got plenty to say. You need to get him on behind the mic or commentating one night for you.
Well, I seen the other night he'd got I don't know if it were a bit of a dig, but he'd got a Mexican shirt on, and that's who Tommy Frankie's fighting.
Yeah.
Obviously, in his next fight on the 18th, a Mexican. So I think that were a bit of tongue-in-cheek stuff as well. So it's all. I think he's good value.
Yeah.
He's good value. He comes out with some silly things sometimes out on the Twitter and stuff like that. But Tommy had his say with him the other day, and they shook hands, and there were a bit of mutual respect there as fighters. They're different kind of people, but as fighters, I think there's a bit of mutual respect there. But Sonny is a good pundit. He's a good pundit, Sonny. So we'll have him on down there, like, you know, anybody who wants to get involved. I honestly think this is the future, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think streaming's the future. I mean, you know, it's good. What's going to become is streaming's going to become more and more competitive, I think.
Yeah, and all the promoters that we're working with, I think we probably have a pool of 300 plus fighters to work with. So it's only good for the game. Kids sometimes want to turn pro, but because they haven't got a sponsor, they haven't got a platform, they end up having to take a 9-to-5 job or whatever job where they could have been boxing. Now, if they get a bit of exposure like they're doing on our channel, it helps with sponsorship, helps with, you know, subsidies and stuff like that, and makes them more of a name, and it can grow their own little brand. And it can, you know, if they just get to a level of an area title, which is something I've never got. I'd love an area title belt, but it can be known. You remember when the fight night were about, Steve? There were kids like, remember Sylvester Mitty? You were a character,
about on ITV on a Wednesday midweek, wasn't it? On ITV, yeah.
But some of them kids were never going to win a British title, but they were household names.
Yeah.
And that's what I think we're creating, but we're going a step above that because we want to take kids who's capable of it onto the world scene. And we've done it before. We've got a blueprint. We've got good relationships with all sorts of different independent bodies, you know, the IBF, WBC, IBO. So we can maneuver kids, as you've seen we've done, where kids don't have to be necessarily Olympians or GB squad kind of kids who's been brought through on public money, and all of a sudden they end up having to go to Eddie or BT. We can develop kids who are probably more suited to the pro game than what they are the amateur game, but they haven't won anything spectacular in the amateurs. And as you've seen, I've done it before with Clinton and Jamie and Stuart Hall. I've took them all the way to world titles, so we can do that again.
I'm sure you will. And also, before I let you go, the journeyman can't believe it. Some of them are out, got 4 or 5 fights off you. If Boris is letting them travel in August in green lights, no one's going to find them. They're going to be on holiday with your money, what you've given them.
I'm hoping Christmas time, Steve, I get some right presents at Christmas time.
These journeymen can't believe it. Scott Mitchell, I think he's got another outing next week. That's 3 paydays in 5 weeks you're giving him.
I might get him one of these marquees at a permanent residence and charge him rent.
And Jamie Quinn was on twice in a week. They can't believe their luck, mate. You might just move them to Sheffield.
But they're good value, Steve, aren't they?
Of course they are. You know, they're not going to win, but they're going to hang in there, do their job. You know, and the odd one, you know, someone like Jamie, he was close to beating McVarnock the other week. So
that's what I'm saying. So they're not just coming to lay down, they're coming to have a go. And like with Brett Fido, he got the result. He come to have a go and he gets a win. And then they move on. So good luck to him. The other lad, it's a learning curve for them. And one good thing about this channel again is, you made a good point here, which brings me on to this, is that if somebody gets beat, that's not the end of them on this channel. It's just a learner. They can learn the trade on this channel.
Yeah.
So it's got all sorts of different benefits for a fighter moving forward. So years ago, kids used to want to get to 20-0 by just fighting kids with losing records. Well, that's not the way forward. I think, especially these days, a loss on your record is not the end of your career. It's a learning experience, and that's what will prevail as we go along. Hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 years, we'll see kids who's got 1 or 2 losses on the record up in the world ratings, because they've learned the trade through having such experiences as a loss with Brett Fido and kids like that. So it's there's so many pluses to this, Steve, and hopefully long may it continue. But people just got to keep subscribing, because it's fantastic value for money, and we just go and we will get the odd big event on there. Mark my words. Mark my words. We've only just started.
Dennis, thanks very much indeed for this morning, giving us some time.
Steve, always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you. Give me love and best wishes to the family. Have you got your Asics on or your Nike Air, or you're off running?
I'm on a pair of slippers today, mate. I'm rest day today, mate. It's Brooks I wear. Brooks Glycerine are the footwear when I'm running.
I reckon you're on a treadmill there, because I can only see top half.
Oh, because I'm sitting in my wife front.
Good man. Get outside and get a bit of vitamin D, pal.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.